Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. Here we are together again on the radio. And a listener named Kevin is taking Leykis 101 very seriously. Let's see if you would have the guts to do what he does. In fact, as you listen, think about it, and then you tell me if you would have the guts to do what he does. Just got this letter today. Hello, Tom. As a faithful Leykis 101 follower, I decided to alter the $40 rule just a bit after reading this story, and I had to share it with you. It's classic and right up your alley. Then I guess he cut and pasted this story he read about somebody, but apparently now this is what he's doing. When I did my taxes this year, I found out that I spent over $14,000 on dates last year. Most of that was spent on dinner and drinks. Now, don't get me wrong. I had some very good times, some great sex, some good conversations. Hell, I even made a good friend along the way. But mainly I came away from the date feeling extremely disappointed and with a lighter wallet. Date by date, it's not that much money. But it all adds up fast. In the past, I had a habit of always grabbing the check and paying, whether my date was hot or not, whether we clicked or not. Basically, I felt ashamed to let her pay. I also kept an interesting statistic, and even I was surprised that only 5% of my dates even offered to pay. Yes, you see that right, 5%. One girl in the entire year offered to pay for the entire check. A very nice gesture. But of course I paid, and I doubt she was sincere. In light of all this evidence, I knew I had to change some things. So this year, I made a resolution. I decided to never pay for a first date again. Ever. How did I do this? First, I adopted the mindset that a girl should naturally assume that she's paying for herself. Now, this wasn't easy at first, but I quickly got used to it. Then, when going to a bar, restaurant, lounge, etc., I would hand the server a credit card, and listen to this, I would ask them to open tabs for each of us. Hey, did you catch that? Tabs, I said. Yeah, don't worry, at least 95% of the girls I meet miss that one too. But just to make sure, I usually confirm that the server has understood me too. I do this when the date rudely answers her cell phone or is in the bathroom, probably using her cell phone. Guys, you know the MasterCard series of priceless commercials? Well, let me tell you, you won't understand the meaning of priceless until you see one of these girls handed their own check for 3 $20 martinis and overpriced food that they would probably never buy on their own. It's also very relaxing to encourage the girl to eat and drink up, because even at $20 a pop for exotic, gooey blender drinks, I could care less how many of them she has because she's paying. Oddly enough, when she realizes that there are individual bills, there will be a few prolonged minutes of discomfort. But don't panic. Something that took me by surprise is how many girls suddenly have to, quote, go to an ATM. I can't quite figure out if it's because their credit cards are maxed out on shoe purchases or that they're trying to guilt me into paying. Well, probably a combination of both. But I'm remorseless after doing this for nearly 3 months now. Which brings me to my date last night. Oh, my God. Of course, the classy, nice Irish pub I suggested wasn't good enough for her. Nah, she needed to go somewhere more trendy. So she picks a midtown hotel bar. Nice place, little stuffy, drinks not bad, and macadamia nuts on the lounge tables. Nice. Of course, I went through my usual routine. I handed the server a credit card, asked her if we can start tabs. She said sure, and took the card. One drink, and her cell phone rang. She apologized. She had to get it. So I moved into confirmation mode. Our waitress even missed the tabs part, but she adjusted on the fly and told me no problem. Boy, let me tell you, the girl I was with could really throw down the drinks. She was drinking scotch that was older than the hotel we were in. Of course, I encouraged her the whole way. She was like, wow, they have Johnny Walker Blue Label. I was like, you ever try it? She's like, no. I'm like, look, if you want it, just get it. So she ordered one, then another, and finally one more. Wow, she was probably more than a little drunk. Meanwhile, I stuck to my Stoli with a splash of cran. When the bills, with an S, came, she sobered up fast. I caught a glimpse of hers. 5 drinks, plus a little finger food. $319. She looked shocked and sick to her stomach when she saw 2 bills. Guess she thought I was buying. Think again. The old me would have soaked up the bill, but I would have steered her away from the blue. Me, I had 4 drinks, no food, and a great buzz. Pricey Stoli, but overall still a good value. I ate a ton of free macadamias and almonds. Total cost, $36. Damn, I thought that Blue Label will get you every time. Of course, she did more than the traditional fumble through her purse. Her face was beet red, and she was speechless. She left the bill on the table and excused herself for the restroom. I had already paid and was sucking on some ice. The waitress was looking concerned. I told her, look! Sure enough, my date was heading out the front door. I slowly grabbed my coat as the waitress ran after her. Then security or a bellman grabbed her at the door, and a small shouting match ensued. Can you imagine? She was trying to leave without paying. Well, I didn't stick around to see what happened. All I saw was the poor waitress standing just inside the front door with a small cocktail tray. She did look concerned but not panicked. A doorman and bellhop had the girl by the arm outside and were semi-forcing her back inside. She wasn't getting away from this bill. Meanwhile, I had paid my bill. I had my receipt. But I couldn't help wondering why she ordered 3 Johnny Walker Blues. Doesn't she know that crap is expensive? Then I wondered if they had to arrest her, while I went to my local Irish pub and had another drink. I haven't heard from her again. Too bad. She was pretty cute, too. Leykis 101 saved my life. Signed, Kevin. Is that an amazing story? What do you think about that idea? Telling the waitress you want to run 2 tabs. Right? Then tell her, sure, go ahead, order anything you want. Hey, drink up. Ever done anything like that? Have the guts to do anything like that? Were you once a sucker who used to pay for everything who was now wised up like Kevin?
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-866. Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM.
I have nothing but the greatest amount of appreciation, gratitude, and respect for what you're doing here. I really thank you.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Like I said, I just wanted...
Well, you haven't said anything yet. You just started talking.
Oh, sorry. Well, I just wanted your expert opinion on this topic I have to defend at school, which is, do you believe women should be subservient to men?
How so?
Like, stay home and wash, clean, take care of the kids.
Only if they want to keep their men around.
Only if they want to keep their men around?
Correct.
Oh. Because, you see, I'm gonna debate this in class, and I'm the affirmative for why women should be subservient to men, but I couldn't get any ideas.
Yeah, well, the main reason is because, well, you can do it the other way where everything's going to be split down the middle, but your man will eventually get sick of that and leave.
Oh, okay, I see. And that's the only reason? I mean, you wouldn't...
Well, that's a good reason, don't you think?
Just to keep their men around?
Isn't that the main purpose of a relationship, is to keep it together?
Yeah, it is.
And if the possibility exists the man would leave, don't you think it's important to do what you can to make that not happen?
So you're saying the woman should stay home and, like, keep the man happy?
I think the best chance you have of a relationship surviving is to live in traditional gender roles. You know, women love to talk about how their mom and dad have been married 30 years, 35 years, 40 years, and that's what they want. They want to stay together forever. But guess what? Back then, when your mom and dad probably got married, if they're still together, back then, dad went to work and mom took care of the house, and that's the way it worked. That's why people were married for 35 years back then, and today, at least half of them get divorced.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. And it's probably because women choose to work, right?
Well, and that's the thing. Why would any man get married if when he gets home he sees a dark house? The purpose of getting married is to be welcomed home when you get home.
Yeah.
If there's nobody there when you get home, you can get that by being unmarried.
Yeah, those are really good reasons, but I just hope it's enough to...
Well, I don't know if I can write a term paper for you, dear, but...
No, I know.
Those would certainly be my primary reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're very good, and I do agree with them, to a certain extent, of course.
Well, I'm telling you, most men, when you say, I did this, you did that, you did it on my Wednesday, most guys are going to eventually just get fed up with that and leave.
Yeah. Okay, Tom. You were very helpful, and I thank you for that.
Thank you, Evelyn.
Okay, bye-bye.
Appreciate the call. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. This is Bob on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Dad.
How you doing, son?
Oh, hey, I have a question about the $40 rule.
Yeah.
I've been sticking to it. I haven't left any girls with the tab, but I've been sticking to the $40 rule, and it has... saved me a lot of headaches. But my question is when the $40 starts, when you start to approach the $40, and the night could go on and have more fun.
You don't want the night to last any longer than that.
I see.
The more you say, you ever watch one of those old shows like Dragnet, and they say things when they're arresting people like, anything you say can and will be used against you. Same thing on a date. The more you talk, the more likely it is you're going to say a word, a phrase, or a sentence, or express an opinion that's going to give her an excuse not to have sex with you.
Okay, but
I don't know. What are your political views, for example?
What if you make good money? Can the $40 be
irrelevant? That doesn't mean that it's there for her to spend.
Okay.
That's not there to be given to her. That's your money.
Well, I guess that answers the question.
I mean, when you're with a woman, there's any number of things. The more time you spend with a woman, the more likely it is you're going to say something she's going to use against you. You know, you could say she's Jewish. You could say you're Jewish, and she'll say, oh, but I'm Catholic. You could say, I'm a Republican. She could say, are you kidding? I'm a Democrat. You could say, I'm an atheist. She could go, oh, my God, but I'm very religious.
So once you hit the 40, it's time to hit the...
It's a good way to shorten up that evening. And we recommend trying to avoid dinner, if possible, or anything else that has the two of you sitting facing each other for hours on end.
Okay.
Unless you're in a horizontal position.
All right, then.
Does it make sense?
Yeah, blow me up.
There you go. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Heidi on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
I had a comment about, I don't know what your $40 rule is. I have only been listening shortly. My boyfriend told me.
All right, let me clarify it because you're calling in from Mesa, Arizona, and we've only been on for a couple of weeks. Let me clarify it.
Okay.
We teach a course here called Leykis 101. In Phoenix, you hear it every Thursday between 6 and 8 p.m. And it's a course for guys. We teach these guys how to get more tail for less money.
Okay.
And we teach women how men think. And one of the things we teach men is not to spend more than $40 on a date.
Okay.
0 is optimum, because a woman decides in the first 30 seconds whether she's going to have sex with you.
I believe that.
So all the lobster and champagne in the world is not going to change your mind, and if it isn't, why spend the money?
Okay.
Make sense?
It makes sense.
That's the $40 rule.
Okay. Well, I just think that the guy who wrote that letter is a total douchebag, because I agree that women in today's world should be equally responsible for dates if you ask a man out on a date. And
but that's a red herring, because the vast majority of dates exist because a man says, "Would you go out with me Friday night?"
Okay. Well, I just think if you're going to take a woman to...
I mean, on that basis, women should ask us out half the time, to be fair.
Well, women just aren't very forward. I myself...
No, it has nothing to do with being forward. Women are very forward when they want to tell you they don't like the way you dress, or that you're a slob, or that you don't make enough money. They're very forward.
See, I am not like that, so I don't agree. I'm not a typical woman, I guess, but I just think that this guy is making an ass out of himself and out of the woman purposely by taking her to a place where she can spend $300 on 4 drinks and not...
Well, wouldn't it make sense that she should spend money like it's her own money and not like it's his money?
Yeah, I agree.
A woman who runs up a $319 tab or whatever it is, how dare she?
That's a little rich for my blood.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. She thought he was paying.
Well, I think this is a game to him. I think it's kind of fun, and I think he's going to end up having women sleep with him.
But guess what? You know, if she was acting the way she should be acting, she would have run up a tab that would be appropriate according to the fact that somebody else was paying the bill.
Yeah.
And instead, she did the exact opposite. She figured somebody else paid the bill, so I'm going to have whatever I want.
See, I don't know that was her reasoning or not. I just think that if you're...
Well, why was she so shocked when she had to pay the bill? Why did she try to beat the check and run out?
To be honest with you, the most expensive drink I've ever had Patron in it, and it was like $9 a shot, and I almost had a heart attack. So I wouldn't even be aware that they had drinks that cost that much.
Let me tell you, they do if you use the right liquor, like Johnny Walker Blue. At Beverages and More, a place where you get it relatively cheaply, it's $160 a bottle.
See, he needs to start taking these girls to Applebee's, because...
Yeah, but...
You can't take a girl to a
He doesn't want to go to Applebee's. That's the thing. He doesn't want to go to Applebee's or Bennigan's or Chili's or TGI Fridays, you know.
He shouldn't be dating clones, because these girls that these guys are attracted to with their strappy shoes and their red toenails and their bleached blonde hair, they're Barbie clones. And
nothing wrong with that.
They're leeches. They're succubus.
Well, the trick is to get sex out of them without giving them anything.
Well,
that's the real sport. I mean, you know what? Fishing and hunting, they used to be challenges, and now, you know, we have all the weaponry and all of the bulletproof vests, and we have all the advantages. There's one kind of hunting in the world. There's one kind of trapping in the world where, you know, you have to use all the wiles of the jungle, and that is dating. It's war.
It is war.
And women have a vagina, and they've got what we want. And we have a wallet, which is what you want. And so in this sport, our job is to get as much of what you have and give up as little as what we have as possible. And women are trying to give up as little of what they have and get as much of what we have as possible. So whoever gets the most wins.
I agree with you there. I have a little suggestion for that guy. I think that he's going to keep spending his money, and I think he's never going to get laid.
But he's not spending that much. The chicks are spending it. And they're spending their own money.
So he's spending his own money, but he's still not getting any tail.
Yeah, but he's doing a service for all the other guys out there. Because every woman going out with a man tonight, you never know if you're out with him.
No, my boyfriend...
You never know if you're going to have to... Well, you have a boyfriend. But the point is, anybody who's going out on a date with someone, a first date, you never know if it's going to be somebody like this. Now, by the way, on Leykis 101, we tell men, when you go to a restaurant, you're paying for exclusive attention.
Mm-hmm.
If she answers her cell phone on the date, simply get up from the table, say, I'll be right back, and go out, get the car from the valet, and leave.
Yeah.
And let her pay the bill.
Yeah, I think that's rude. I totally agree with you. I think girls, for the most part, are very nasty, horrible people. But I still think this guy is a total friggin' retard. And
I have to. He's like the Peace Corps of men. You have to give the guy credit. He's out there doing God's work, for God's sake.
Okay.
He is. He's out there running separate tabs with the women he goes out with, so ultimately they're all shocked at the end of the evening. I think it's great.
Well, he better just go back to what he was doing, because I don't think he's ever going to get laid doing what he's doing now. And
I don't know. I do think there's a certain number of women who respect men who don't tolerate their crap.
Yes. Vice versa as well.
Yeah, but, women test us all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like the women, I doubt you've ever dated a woman, but there's that woman you're on a date with, right? And so, all right, you've had a few drinks, she's got a good buzz on, not too much of a buzz that she's throwing up out of your window or whatever like that. So you get her in the car and you're zooming home, okay? And she's got the buzz on and you're driving the car. And as you're zipping back to your apartment, suddenly she says, I want to go out and dance. Let's go find a place to dance. And really all she's doing is filibustering.
Yeah.
So that she doesn't have to have sex.
Yeah.
Or, I know this after-hours club. We can stay out till dawn. How about we go out and have breakfast somewhere? These are all women who are trying to avoid having sex.
Probably.
That's what they're doing. So I recommend these guys just drop-kick these chicks right out of the car.
I think so, too, but I think they need to
drop them off wherever you are. Just drop them off.
If they would just quit dating stupid clones, they would find nice girls.
Guess what? Those are most of the hottest chicks there are.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
I've been out and about, and I've seen these crazy bumper stickers. I saw this one the other day that said, driver carries no cash, he's married. Why doesn't he just put a big bumper sticker that says, hey, I'm a pussy, my wife got my balls?
I hadn't heard of that bumper sticker.
The Tom Leykis Show.
From Los Angeles, it's the Tom Leykis Show. At 1-800-5800-TOM. We started off this hour with a letter from a listener named Kevin. And Kevin is fed up with chicks taking him for a ride. He spent $14,000 last year on dates. So now when he goes out on dates, he quietly tells the waitress, could you run 2 tabs? And when these chicks start overeating, over-drinking, ordering the Chateaubriand or the Johnny Walker Blue, guess what? Their credit card gets dinged. He's very proud of himself. Tammy on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
I'm Tammy. I just wanted to call and say that that dude Kevin is my hero.
He is?
Oh, hell yeah. That girl got what she deserved.
She absolutely did. How dare she order 4 Johnny Walker Blues?
Yeah, when a girl does that, you know what she's doing? She's putting her vagina on the line and acting as a prostitute. And he is doing all women that don't want to be treated that way a beautiful service.
Absolutely.
So hallelujah, Kevin.
He's doing men a favor, for God's sake, because you never know. I mean, first of all, you don't even know if this guy's name is really Kevin. You never know when you're out on a first date with him.
No, right. And when you go Dutch, you're leveling the playing field and you can meet as humans.
Yes.
So that's just fabulous.
And all you chicks who use the cell phone on a date to talk to the guy you're going to be hooking up with after the date or text messaging people.
To bail out.
I'm telling you right now, the minute I see that phone coming out, the minute I see a woman trying to type a message out, I'm out.
Well, Tom, let's be fair. Everybody does that with cell phones, and that's just rude.
Well, they shouldn't. Put it this way. On a date, somebody generally is paying the bill. And in my view, that bill is being paid in exchange for the exclusive attention of the other person.
Well, we need to change that. Let's all go Dutch. We all have jobs.
Yeah, well, what I tell guys is don't go to dinner with chicks.
Okay, right. Go for a walk in the park.
Most guys, you want to know something? I mean, sure, there's gay men who want to eat at all the trendiest restaurants in town. Mm-hmm. But the average heterosexual guy doesn't really care one way or the other about restaurants.
Right.
If you ask the average guy, he's perfectly happy to head into Fuddruckers for a burger. Perfectly happy. He doesn't care about anything called cuisine or how many stars a place has. He does not care. So when a man goes to a restaurant like that, he's spending money in hopes of getting laid. That's what he's doing.
And it is prostitution, and I don't get why women do that and or allow themselves to be treated as such.
Well, because it's legal prostitution.
Right.
It's the legal kind.
And they play their game where they
right.
see what they can get out of it without putting out, too.
That's
it's ridiculous.
Right. You are right.
So good for you playing your own game with $40 and trying to see how little you can spend.
Exactly.
It's about time.
Exactly. Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you. Bye.
Appreciate the call. 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Jessica on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. First-time caller. I think you're great. I think you're very funny. And I know what I'm about to talk to you about is irrelevant to the topic that you have right now, but a couple of minutes ago, a girl called you who was writing a paper for school regarding marriage and how to make a marriage work. And you were telling her that in order for a marriage to work, the woman has to stay home and take care of the house.
I think you have a better shot of a relationship lasting if a woman plays the traditional role and so does the man.
But where does that leave the relationships where both people in the marriage are working? I mean, does that mean that their chances of working out are
less?
Less?
And I do believe that's why you have more divorce now than you had 50 years ago. Because it's more likely that both people are working.
But wouldn't men want for their woman to help them in the household? I mean,
yes, fold my socks, iron my shirts, raise my children. I say fold my socks. Yes, we'd like you to help out around the house.
No, I mean, of course, we're going to do that regardless. I mean, of course.
No, you say that, but I'm telling you, the work doesn't get done the same way.
But when there's no children, is it okay for both people in the marriage to work?
I think if both people are not working, if one is working and one is not, you have a better chance.
Oh, I see.
By the way, if both people are working and they want to continue working, they should live in separate places, pay their own rent, buy their own groceries, date each other. See each other when you can. Be independent.
I know. I'm not disagreeing with you.
My opinion is that all women who use the word independent, I'm independent. Any woman who's independent should live by herself and be independent.
No, that's not what I'm saying. It's not about...
Why do you need to live with a guy if you're independent?
No. I'm saying it's not about being independent. It's about helping your spouse out.
But it's not, because you know what? The cost of sending you to work, the cost of dressing you, dry cleaning your clothes, the cost of cosmetics, the cost of eating lunch at the job, the cost of gasoline to send you in and out, there's not much left when we're done with all that.
And
the fact that women make so much less than men, there really isn't a lot of money left over. And then most women spend that on themselves when there's a man around, buy themselves purses and...
But wouldn't that benefit you better?
$8 bars of soap at the candle store. What's that?
Wouldn't that benefit men better if we worked so we can pay our...
That's why, here's what you do. Live in your own place, pay your own rent, get your manicures and pedicures, and see us when you're putting your best foot forward. But the other nights when you're having your period or you're tired or you have a headache, you don't feel like it, just stay in your own apartment there while we go find something else to busy us. Because you know what? We're independent, too.
All I was saying, I was just confused on that because, you know, I agree with you 100%. I never disagree with you. I think you're hilarious. I think you're awesome, and you're always right. But I was just confused on that because I was just thinking, if you're saying that it's people that, women that stay home have a better chance of making their marriage work as opposed to women that work. I mean, I just wanted to know when that was going to leave us women who do actually work.
Look around at the women. Look around at the women who work. More of them are unmarried. More of them are Auntie Jessica, who go and visit their nieces and nephews. More of them are old maids and spinsters, and they're the people who work on Christmas Eve so everyone else can have the night off.
Well, Tom...
Right?
I'm not going to argue with you, but I just wanted to know your opinion on that. So, can you please take me out Kobe style?
Kobe style. Here you go.
This is about us. She's so special to me. You're a beat to my heart. You're the air I breathe. She's so special to me.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
There was a rule when we got married. Never mess around on me, never stop filleting me, and never get fat.
Never stop filleting me. Words I can live with.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Oh, yeah. Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. This is David on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, yeah, I'm new listening to this. I'm out in Mesa.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to find out more about this, your dating thing. I've been stiffed over a couple times, and I caught the last part of Kevin's letter, how he split two tabs.
Yes.
And I'd like to find out, some more of your opinions, because I've had that happen a couple times to me. And
well, the trick is when you go on a date to spend as little money as possible.
Right.
I mean, that's the key. One of the ways to do this is to try to avoid having dinner as a date.
Okay.
So one of the tricks you use is you call a woman on the phone, you say the following. You say, what time are you having dinner today?
Mm-hmm.
She'll never realize what you're up to, so she'll answer the question. Oh, I don't know, 7:30? So you say to her, well, that's great, so you should be done about 9:30. Why don't we hook up for a drink about 9:45?
Okay.
And most of the time, they'll say yes without realizing that what you've just done is hoodwink them out of dinner.
All right.
Anything you can do to keep from spending time with a woman that will eventually be used against you is what you should do.
Okay.
So you do not want to be in situations where you are forced to sit and discuss anything. Because I'm telling you, anything you say to a woman, she'll use it against you, and she'll use it as an excuse not to sleep with you.
Right.
Now, I know guys who, they're sitting with a woman, and finally they're saying, I was watching Bill O'Reilly tonight. Something really innocent like that. And the woman says, do you like that guy? I hate that guy. And then that's it. The guy doesn't get laid because he watches Bill O'Reilly. I know a guy who mentioned that he was Jewish. And the woman was like, Christian. Now, of course, if you're that Christian, you wouldn't be having sex with anybody anyway.
Right.
Imagine not sleeping with a guy because he's Jewish.
Oh.
There's a lot of that out there. The trick is you don't want to reveal anything about yourself. Do the exact opposite of what your instinct tells you. Tell them nothing. Reveal as little as possible. Let them blather on and on and on about themselves. But you don't.
So where would you recommend places to go?
Well, good places to go are cheap places to go. Places that have a hipness factor. Now, you live in Mesa. Tempe is full of places like that near the campus of ASU.
Yeah,
you go down Mill Avenue there, and it's full of hip little places that don't cost a lot of money because college students can't afford that.
Right.
So there's plenty of places where you could go, and I would recommend going to places like that.
Okay.
But stay away from the big expensive steakhouses. Stay away from restaurants like that one in Phoenix, Different Point of View, which is a 5-star restaurant with a beautiful view at Point Tapatio.
Mm-hmm.
But, oh, boy, expensive. Are you kidding me? You better not just be getting laid. You better be getting like a full week of getting laid after going there.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Right.
What night do you do your dating thing? Is that radio? What's that?
You never go out with a woman on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday unless you're guaranteed to get laid. If you're not sure, she's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday girl.
Okay.
And then you don't go out more than 3 dates. If she doesn't put out in 3 dates, we believe in the 3 strikes, you're outlaw.
All right.
If she doesn't put out in the first 3 dates, that's that. All right, David? Best of luck to you. With all that information, I don't think you'll need it.
The Tom Leykis Show.